Hi, Tim Strange. I'm the Director and Owner of Marine Installations and Developments Limited. I've been marine engineering for I think 32 years, probably a little bit more. We have a team of 4 engineers, including myself, making it 5. Administration is done by the lovely Eva. We're currently on a Nordhaven 65. It's recently been purchased by 2 good friends of mine. The intention with the vessel is to go offshore, Cairns, Australia, Fiji, and so on. This particular boat has been sitting up in the far north of the North Island in New Zealand for some years. Hasn't done a lot of motoring or a lot of cruising. So we were given the opportunity to take on board quite a intensive full-on refit for this vessel. The objective for us was to offer Jim and Joe a vessel that was going to be safe and give them some really good solid boating throughout New Zealand and Australia over the next 5 to 8 years, maybe a bit longer. So we started with the drive lines or moving the boat down from the far north to Whangaparaoa, where we hauled the vessel out at Gulf Harbour. From there, we inspected the underwater appendages, removed the propeller, removed rudder, both propeller shafts, and then started doing assessments on what work would be required so that they could leave New Zealand comfortably, knowing they'll have the peace of mind that the vessel was going to be sound. Through doing this, as boats do, we found other issues and extra work that was required for that particular job. Things like steering hoses, steering rams, going into the potable water system, the hot water cylinder needed replacement, anchor winch serviced and in fact gearbox replaced, right down to the anchor chain and even the fitting onto the anchor stem head itself. So there's some of the most important parts that we did address. On the other side, there's the electrical. So engineering, the boat's been fully converted from lead acid, and it had about 13 to 1400 amp hours of lead acid power when we received the boat. The boat's been converted to full lithium, going up to about 1800 amp hours, including full solar on the top deck to assist with any power when it's in quiet ship or possibly when it's berthed and cannot connect to land-based power. So that's a really good upgrade. That involves things like extra alternators fitted to the main engine to recharge that battery bank, ensuring the generators are capable of replenishing that bank as well. And another big important part is a pretty comprehensive refurbishment and replacement of generator parts, right down to water pumps, coolants, checking the fuel system is going to be reliable, and a lot of hose and fittings replaced. Pretty common for vessels of this age, getting up to 20 years of age, materials operating in a hot environment in an engine room basically deplete. And so that's where we've mainly concentrated on. Following all that work, we have done 2 sea trials to date, and we will do one further one, probably putting about another 4 hours on the main engine, ensuring all those systems operate as they should, and making sure that we are comfortable the boat is good and ready to leave and head offshore. I am sure in the future we also will be given the opportunity to visit the vessel in Australia and continue the maintenance program that we do with all our clients. So that's something very important that we focus on heavily as well. One of the most important jobs that we undertook during this refit was ensuring that the main engine, the wing engine, and the 2 generators were going to be reliable and last the distance for Jim and Joe. So one of the things I made sure that had to happen was I brought in a person called Mark Mannon. Mark has incredible experience on the MTU Detroit engine family, and Mark and my son Connell went through and top-tuned the 60 series Detroit main engine. They did the lugger wing engine and the 2 Northern Lights generators. There were no major issues or concerns in doing this work, but what was done is we reset all the valves, inlet and exhaust, inspected for any abnormal wear, and on top of that, on the main engine, the aftercooler was removed and replaced with a brand new unit. Now that's a precautionary measure just to make sure that we know that part that possibly has issues in the past from failing will be reliable for the next 10 to 15 years, giving peace of mind and giving very good engine longevity. Around that were all coolants, hoses and clamps, all the little things that do get forgotten but deplete over time in a hot engine room environment. Very important that each one of those is checked, replaced and inspected. Not every hose or component can have access, and in some cases it can be an endoscope camera, or a decision has to be made where to draw the line. You physically can't cut the boat to bits to replace every part, but we certainly try to do the best we can do with the tools we have. Another important part of our refit work is steering and stabilizing systems. This vessel has twin stabilizer fins. They are an important part of a vessel of this design. Due to the hull shape and the 65 plus tons of this vessel, you will get a lot of vessel roll at sea. So the stabilizer fins were removed from their tapers. That's from the mail shaft, an appendage that passes through the hull. The lower bearings and plates removed, oils removed, and an internal inspection was done. The first thing we look at is the colour of the oil. If the oil is discoloured, that means we've got parts that are mismatched and are not wearing well. In this case, the oil was in pristine condition, which is good news. Good news for the wallet as well. So seals, a good clean up, a good flush, reassembly of service kits on the exterior faces of the stabilizer fins. On the internal side, bushes, trunnion ends and pins inspected and replaced as necessary. Again, a really important system for this type of vessel. As soon as it leaves offshore or even on the inner harbour, it is using these systems a lot just to keep it stable and keep everybody comfortable on board. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you like and subscribe. Soon we'll be presenting some more interesting and valuable information for all you people that want to travel offshore.